So if you're like me and you have an iPhone as your main device or your only device instead of using an Android, but you still want all the apps that Google offers, there's no problem because the iPhone has so many of Google's apps, and honestly, they're probably better quality than they are found on Android. So basically, you could definitely have a Google Android experience on your iPhone because it has so many apps. And these are all the apps that I use on my iPhone. So I think this is what most people have as their browser, is Google Chrome. It is just probably the best well-rounded browser out there on the desktop, on an iPhone, on an Android. It is the go-to for many, many people. It is just simple, fast, fluid, and you can have it on all these different devices. I just like the setup. It's very easy. I have all my bookmarks synced across everywhere, and it's just a go-to browser all around, and it's been like that for a while. So Google Chrome is probably one of the first apps that I download. Next is Google Drive. I keep all my files in Google Drive. They give you 15 gigs right now for free, and it's a great alternative to Apple's iCloud and Files, and it's been probably the best one for file management, to save your files for PDFs, pictures, videos, whatever you need to store. And I haven't run out of 15 gigs. You know, Apple's iCloud, you have to pay for it eventually, because 5 gigs is not enough, especially when you have your backups and all that stuff. So yeah, Google Drive is just the way to go for storage. Next is Google Pay. Now this is different from Apple Pay. You can't actually use your device to pay for things using Google Pay on your iPhone. It's not really a wallet, but the reason I use this is because I like to use it as my main way of sending and receiving money from people, and it keeps it like in a thread, like messages. So you it's very easy to keep track of how much money someone owes you. You can put a little memo in there, and it easily just transfers the balance, and you can transfer to the bank. So this is basically my way of how I keep track of how I send and receive money. Next is Google Keep. This is my go-to if I want to keep down notes, reminders. You can add pictures, you could draw, checklist. It's very easy to use. It could be on the web. Just a great alternative to iCloud Notes or Apple Notes. So yeah, that is just, I have it on my Chromebook desktop. It's all over the place. So yeah, use Notes all the time with Google Keep. And we have Google Photos. That's a favorite for a lot of people. I do not like using iCloud Photos because iOS devices, you're forced to have everything in the cloud. And if you delete one thing, it's deleted on your device, and in the cloud, it's either all or nothing. I like Google Photos because you could offload all your on-device pictures and videos and send them to the cloud and keep them very separated. And that's where you could put them in different folders and albums and share them and all that good stuff. And you got a lot more storage to work with. I think most people, they use the cloud and their storage for pictures and videos. And this is an easy way to make that storage stretch. And it's just a better organization for your pictures and videos. Next, we have Google Voice. And this is the interesting one because this is something that I use on a daily basis. Very important to me because I switch my main number to Google Voice. This, I do not have a carrier per se. As long as I have a data connection, I could use Google Voice for text messages and for calls. And it has nothing to do with the carrier or SIM card that I have. As long as I have a data connection, this is good to go. And this is something that Apple doesn't have an alternative for. This is a very special app that I don't think anybody really uses. and I've been using it for years on and off, but I finally went back to it, and I'm very happy I did. I get to choose. I can switch carriers at a whim, switch devices, use multiple devices at the same time. This is kind of like iMessage, but for any type of device. It's just a very unique service that nobody else really offers. Next is very important, and that's Google Maps. It's the alternative to Apple Maps, and it is just a very reliable. It has so much information. It's very, very detailed, very precise with traffic. This is a necessity for a lot of people just to get around driving. I drive so much on a daily basis, and it's just invaluable. This is more of a tool than anything else. Very important app, very important tool. It's probably the most important one on my iPhone. And for podcasting, I like to use Google Podcasts. It's just so simple. I really like how it syncs between all my devices. It's very, it doesn't have a lot of fluff. There's a lot of podcast apps out there that just is just so busy. This one is just, I just like how simple it is. It only has podcasts, and I like it way better than Apple's podcast app. I have really granular control. It has like just the amount of stuff that I need in a podcast app. It syncs across all my devices, and it has like really clear and easy ways to download and delete downloaded podcasts, which to me is very confusing and very burden. It's a very big burden on me when I use the Apple Podcast app. I once I found this one, I fell in love with it, and I'm kind of sad because Google is going to discontinue this app and roll it into YouTube somehow. So yeah, this app is enjoy it while it's still there, because this one, it's just the amount of right, just the right amount of settings, and it's really, really awesome. Next is YouTube Studio, and this is kind of a niche app, because this is a companion app. If you upload videos to YouTube, it simply is just like a manager. It shows you analytics. You could do a little bit of editing, and yeah, it's just like if you upload videos to YouTube, this is pretty much what you need to download to keep track of your stuff. And for TV, I use YouTube TV. It's just simply the best. It offers, the quality is good. I've never had any real failures. It just works all the time. It has all the channels that I need. You have recording functions. It has all the major networks and channels that I like to see. Sports, I love watching multiple games on the same screen. It just offers a lot, and you could actually be part of a family plan, and it just works out really, really good. This is better than Hulu TV. This is better than Direct TV. What is the other one? Fubo. There's all these other ones, but this is my go-to, and it works on the app. It works on the browser, on desktops. Very, very awesome. And Apple doesn't even offer any type of live TV app, so this definitely blows it out of the water for Apple. This is your go-to if you want entertainment and watch TV and shows. For music, I use YouTube Music. This one is kind of a direct competitor to Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music. This is, everybody has a music app, but I really like this one because it's included with YouTube Premium, which I pay for every month, and it's just like my default app, because it's like I'm getting free service because it's included in the bundle. So yeah, it does the same thing. It does what I need it to do, and that's just listen to music, and it's the same music found on other apps. And finally, good old YouTube. It has been on iPhone since the first iPhone, and it is probably the most used app in the world. It started the whole revolution of, mobile smartphones. And, this is just like this is what everybody is on. YouTube has been the most downloaded, the most viewed, most useful app out there, and it's been on there since the first iPhone. And I really believe this is Apple's, pretty much, if Apple ever loses access to YouTube, I don't think anybody would buy another iPhone ever again. YouTube has pretty much made the iPhone a success from the very beginning. Yeah, it's just and me personally, like I said, with YouTube Music, I pay for YouTube Premium, and you get no ads. You get to download and play in the background, download to your device. Yeah, it's just freaking awesome. I don't really have to say much. YouTube is probably just, the best app, and you need it on your iPhone. So it's, if you're using an iPhone and you're an iPhone person, and you don't like Android, you still could have the best of both worlds, because all of Google's major apps, pretty much all of them, are available on iPhone. And to tell you the truth, the quality of these Google apps are better on iPhone than they are on Android. So you pretty much, if you have an iPhone, you pretty much have an Android built into the iPhone with all these Google apps. There's no real advantage that I could think of that an Android has over an iPhone, app-wise and experience-wise. I've gone back and forth between the platforms, but since if Google's gonna keep offering all their apps on iPhone, you might as well just get the iPhone, because Apple is not offering all their apps on Android. So this is what you're gonna get, and you're gonna get the best of both worlds. If you want to use Google apps, the iPhone just blows Android out of the water. And all the apps that I mentioned, go ahead and download them, because I don't think everybody has that many Google apps on their iPhone, and you'll be surprised at how much more useful the iPhone is with these Google apps on it. Let me know what apps you use on your iPhone. Peace.